Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the another session in 3G 4G wireless communication systems. So, in previous video, we have discussed about the Alamotti code and the water filling techniques. So, we are having the whole series of 3G 4G wireless communication system in our playlist. So, you can just check the playlist. You will find everything related to the 3G 4G communications, right? So, if you have not seen those videos, then you can just check. Okay. And apart from that, today we are going to discuss about the basics of OFDM. So OFDM is basically orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So multi-carrier transmission is playing a key role in OFDM. That is the core technology which is involved inside the OFDM is multi-carrier transmission. So the name itself suggests that multi-carrier transmission means transmitting the signal over n number of subcarriers. Okay, so in conventional communication, we will be transmitting one signal in the whole band. So that is consuming a whole band. That is the whole bandwidth will be consumed for only one signal. So which will reduce our efficiency significantly. But in case of multi-carrier transmission, we will be transmitting a number of signals simultaneously in the same bandwidth so that the efficiency will be doubled, or I can say almost n times increased. Okay, so the number of carriers which will be using as and when they increase, the efficiency will also increase and the capacity will increase as well. All right, so first we will see what is the basic key idea behind multi-carrier concept, how it is happening. Okay, so let us assume that the transmission system is having a bandwidth of b, so that is some megahertz frequency is allocated for a particular bandwidth. Okay, then the center frequency we will be having here, like it's in the zeroth position, and you can see this is the total bandwidth which is allocated for a particular communication system. Then the concept of multi-carrier here comes, that will be dividing this total bandwidth into n number of sub bandwidths. Okay, so if it is in terms of megahertz, then these sub carriers will be having the frequency in terms of kilohertz, and we will be transmitting independent signals through that through these independent sub carriers, and they will not mix up with each other. They will be having orthogonality to each other. Okay, so that is the key idea behind multi-carrier concept here. So previously we are transmitting only one signal through this whole bandwidth, but now if we divide this whole bandwidth into 64, if n is equal to 64 number of sub carriers, then we will be simultaneously transmitting x1 up to x64, 64 symbols here. So you can see the capacity has been increased by a factor of n here. Okay, and in terms of diagram, if I represent, then if it is a zeroth band, then zero frequency, then b by n will, so this is one band, so it will be having total bandwidth by n, then 2 into total bandwidth by n, and up to will be having n by 2 into b by n. So similarly for the negative side, will be having minus beta by n minus 2 b by n up to n by 2 minus 1 into b by n. So this is the general form which will be having. So these spikes here indicates the n number of subcarriers, and this is subband, and this is the spacing between two subcarriers, that is called as subcarrier spacing. Okay, so once we are done with these terminologies, so now let us do some math regarding this one. So fi is the frequency of a particular carrier, so it is in the general form fi equal to I into b by n, and the subcarrier frequency we are saying. So if I'm calculating it for the first subcarrier, then I will replace I with 1. F1 equal to 1 into b by n, it will be b by n itself. And F2 will be equal to 2 into b by n. F3 will be equal to 3 into b by n. So that's why I've written b by n, 2b by n, 3b by n, up to n by 2 into b by n. So the final expression I into b by n will be having. Okay. So now let us say xi be the data transmitted on the I subcarrier. I means let us assume some data has been transmitted. So for that I'll be having the composite equation after combining the carrier and the data. So that is after modulation, SI of t will be equal to the transmitted symbol xi into this is the carrier which we are using, the sine or the cosine. Okay, so xi into e to the power z 2 pi fi into t. So fi is the carrier frequency here, so I will just replace fi with the standard notation I into b by n. So I into b by n into t I will be having, where fi is the ith carrier center frequency of the subcarrier. So this is the center frequency for the subcarriers here, whatever you are indicating over here. Okay, all right, so now let us try to know a little bit more about the multi-carrier transmission. So let us try to deal with some equations in this session. So consider n different modulated signals corresponding to n different subcarriers. So assume that n different modulated signals are transmitted for n different subcarriers here. Let us say 64 here. Okay. So the composite signal can be given as for 64 or the n subcarriers, I will be having a composite signal which will be added up with all those signals starting from 1 to up to n. Okay. So S of t will be the summation of the individual Si of t. Okay, so then I will be starting from I equal to 1 to n. So Si of t I am having xi into e to the power z 2 pi fi t, which I can write e to the power z 2 pi I into b by n t. So once I get this equation, then this composite signal is transmitted over the channel. So n different data streams are transmitted over n different subcarriers here. That is the spatial multiplexing, we can say. Then now the received signal has to be isolated from the other input signal. That means if I am decoding for first carrier, then I need to separate out all the other carriers, that is n minus 1 carriers I need to separate out. Okay, so to do that one, I will be receiving the signal y of t equal to the received signal will be obviously the transmitted signal s of t, which contains I equal to 1 to summation of I into xi e to the power j 2 pi fi t. Now we have the fundamental frequency f naught equal to 1 by t naught, which will be equal to b by n, and fl I can write l into f naught, right? So these are the fundamental frequencies. Then after that I can just integrate the signal, because I will be getting the whole signal from 1 to n. So I will be writing f naught into 0 to t naught, so that is the fundamental time period. Y of 2 into, so this is the conjugate of the carrier, so e to the power j 2 pi flt into star, so that is conjugate of the input signal I'm taking. So f naught is b by n, I can replace here, and t naught basically b by n, and I can write t naught equal to n by b. So n by b, which is opposite of f naught. Okay, so y of t I'm having I equal to summation of I xi e to the power j 2 pi b I into b by n t, so e to the power minus j 2 pi l f naught t into dt. So I'm differentiating basically, so I can write dt as well here. All right, so after that b by n into 0 to n by b, then I can just write summation xi e to the power j 2 pi b by n into t. So after all those things, I will be writing the same thing, e to the power j 2 pi l into f naught, I can replace b by n. So I'm having f naught b by n here, so I will just replace those things and write as it is. Now it's time to take the common things here. So e to the j 2 pi fl beta by n, so I will be having only I and l are different, other things are same, so I will just leave I and l and take all those other things common here. So what I'll be getting is beta by n summation I 0 to n by b xi e to the power z 2 pi I'm taking common, so I'll be left with I minus l, and f naught into t also I'm taking common, so I'll be left with dt. Okay, so this is the common factor, which this is all common factor here between these two terms here. Okay, so after that I can just split the integration b by n into the integration 0 to n by b xl into dt, plus I can write for second one b by into summation I is not equal to l when I is equal to l. So if I goes to l, then it will become 0 and this will become xl. Okay, so this will become 0, means e to the power 0 will be 1. So xl into 1 will be xl obviously, and these things will go to 0 as well. So dt will be left, and if I is not equal to l, there are two conditions, I equal to l and I is not equal to l. So beta by n summation I is not equal to l, n by beta to 0, xi into e to the power j 2 pi I minus l f naught into t into dt. So all things will be remaining as it is. Okay, so after that obviously this will go to 0 because of this condition. So n by beta minus e to the power, they are not similar, right? So I'll be left with only xl into upper limit beta by n minus n by beta minus 0. So that one I'll be writing here, and finally when I simplify I will get just xl. Okay, so that is the transmitted symbol. Then this property of orthogonality can be summarized as 0 to n by beta will be equal to the integration of that one, e to the j power e to the power j 2 pi I minus l into beta by n will be equal to 0 if I is not equal to l, and n by beta into I if it is equal to l. From this I can conclude. Okay, so this is about multi-carrier transmission and the basics of OFDM. So hope you got an idea how to uh, deal with the equations in case of multi-carrier transmission. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.